Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about a proposal that will build goodwill between India and Pakistan. A nice editorial, and there are a few words, not too many words to learn. Besides the editorial analysis, today you're going to work on practice questions based on exam topics, and some of these topics are errors or error location, para jumble, fillers, phrase replacement, idioms, and as usual, editorial words. Before we go to the editorial analysis, let us have a quick look at the words from the editorial. Goodwill. This is all about goodwill between India and Pakistan, a proposal that has the potential to build goodwill between the two countries. So, what exactly does it mean, goodwill? Kind, helpful, or friendly feeling or attitude. In this context, it is friendly attitude between the two countries. Cumbersome has got two different meanings. One meaning, cumbersome means something that is heavy and difficult to do. In this context, a different meaning, slow or complicated and therefore inefficient. Here it does not talk about something being heavy, it talks about something being slow or complicated and as a result inefficient. Leap, we have got many a time. Leap means to take a long jump, and there's one idiom you have to recollect. The city is growing by leaps and bounds. Means what? It is growing rapidly. And downsize, usually this goes with companies at the time of recession. Recession means low economic activity. Companies resort to downsizing, make something smaller. That means they go for layoffs. Pilgrims, this is related to religion in a way and related to pilgrimage and related to pilgrims. Pilgrim is a person who visits sacred places or holy places. And if the person visits a number of places on a single trip, then we use the word pilgrimage. That is also an important word. Protocol, we have got many a time. The official procedure or system of rules governing affairs of state or diplomatic occasions. When the PM visits a particular state, the CM has to receive, and there is a particular procedure. That official procedure is called protocol. The CM of a state has to follow the protocol. Shrine, a familiar word, a place that is regarded as holy or sacred. And circuitous, this is a new word we have got, but you can make out the meaning based on the word. Circuitous means longer than the most direct way. There is a direct way to reach a particular place, but you take a different route that is longer. Then we use the word circuitous. It is like beating about the bush when it comes to conversation, or beating around the bush. Charter, you all know charter flights, the hiring of an aircraft, ship, or motor vehicle for a special purpose. Then we use the word. Imagine it is an aircraft, we use the word chartered flight. Reciprocal, given, felt, or done in return. You do something to someone, the person does the same thing to you. That means the person has reciprocated. Vetted, an important word I think we have got in the recent past. Vet means to make a careful and critical examination of something. And vet as a verb, it means that. Vet, short form of veterinary doctor. As a noun, it has a different meaning altogether. Precedent, you have to recollect the word unprecedented. Precedent means an earlier event or action that is regarded as an example or a guidance. Fraught always takes a preposition with, fraught with. Fraught means what? A situation or course of action filled with something, usually negative connotation. Modicum, it's a new word, but we got once or twice, not in the recent past, a small quantity of a particular thing, especially something desirable or valuable. Though small quantity, it is desirable and valuable. Deliberate, you have got many a time. Done consciously and intentionally, deliberately and intentionally. Generally, we say. So these are the words from the editorial. Now let us go to the editorial. As I said, this is something like a positive editorial, we can say, but it provides the background information and the present situation where it is not that positive. But a particular initiative from a particular group in Pakistan, definitely it has a potential likely to build goodwill between India and Pakistan. So, how does it start? Keeping faith, to have the hope, to have the faith, belief in something. But you cannot make out, based on those two words, you cannot make out what exactly it is about. People to people initiatives can help build goodwill between India and Pakistan. This talks about a particular initiative. As I said, this is all about a proposal, an initiative, and this initiative has come from people, not from the government. Based on that, the editorial starts with the expression people to people initiatives can help possibility. Build goodwill can help do what? Here there is an important verb. Already you have learned causative verbs help, make, get. They don't take the preposition to after them in active voice. Can help to build, they may give in the exam. To build is not correct. Can help build what? Goodwill between India and Pakistan. This is all about the editorial is all about this particular initiative. And the editorial says this initiative from the people to people initiative can build something, build what? Goodwill between two countries, Pakistan and India. Then it talks about the present scenario between the two countries, what is happening, what happened in the past. At a time when most other India Pakistan exchanges are suspended, even a simple proposal by the Pakistan Hindu Council, forwarded by Pakistan to India, to allow pilgrims of both countries to travel by air to avoid cumbersome journeys seems a leap. Before I talk about the sentence, I would like to tell the meanings of two words. One, cumbersome. As I said, usually it goes with work. Cumbersome work, cumbersome task means what? Something that is heavy and complicated and difficult to manage, something that is daunting. But in this context, it has got the second meaning. What is the second meaning of cumbersome? Something that is slow or complicated, not heavy, slow or complicated, and therefore inefficient. And the second word, a leap. A leap means what? Jump or spring a long way, not a short one, a long jump. We use the word leap. But in this context, it is something like progress. So this sentence talks about at a time when most other India Pakistan exchanges are suspended. Many exchanges between the two countries have been suspended. That is the present scenario. In this context, in this present scenario, even a simple proposal by the Pakistan Hindu Council, proposal by the Pakistan Hindu Council, but forwarded by Pakistan to India. And what is this proposal? Asking India to allow pilgrims of both countries to travel by air to avoid cumbersome journeys seems a leap. So it is a proposal asking Indian government to allow pilgrims to travel by air. Why should they travel by air? To avoid cumbersome journeys. And this proposal seems a progress, a leap in this context, progress. Islamabad Delhi ties now are possibly at their worst ever, an important expression. Worst ever in peace times, with no political dialogue at a bilateral or multilateral level for over 5 years. Between the two countries for almost 5 years, the sentence says no political dialogue either at the bilateral level. Bilateral level means between the two countries, or multilateral level involving the third party. So this sentence talks about the situation as of now. Islamabad Delhi ties now are possibly at their worst ever, an important expression, the best ever, worst ever in peace times. Why is it at their worst ever? Because with no political dialogue at a bilateral or multilateral level for over 5 years, 5 long years, and there's one word, as I said, this is all about goodwill. What is goodwill? I have already explained. In this context, a friendly feeling or attitude between the two countries. Why is it like that? No dialogue either at the bilateral level or multilateral level for almost 5 years. The reason behind that, after many terror attacks, India has stopped normal communications and cultural exchanges. And after the government's moves on Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan stopped all trade ties. From Indian point of view, or Indian government point of view, After many terror attacks, India has stopped normal communications and cultural exchanges. And after the government's moves on Article 370 in Jammu and Kashmir, the response or reaction from Pakistan stopped all trade ties, business ties. Both sides have downsized their diplomatic missions, and it talks about another dimension. One thing is India has stopped communications and cultural exchanges. Pakistan stopped all trade ties. Not only that, both sides have downsized. Downsize means to make something smaller. Usually, downsizing of a company, we say, it happens at the time of a recession. The company, a particular company, is not doing well. Obviously, it has to resort to downsizing and it will resort to layoffs. Here, downsized what diplomatic missions. Besides, in addition, the COVID 19 pandemic has ensured that the borders have been virtually sealed for 2 years with few direct routes operating between them. One more reason, because of this stalemate or no dialogue, no political dialogue between the two countries. In addition, the COVID 19 pandemic has ensured that the borders have been virtually sealed, present perfect passive voice, for 2 years, with few direct routes operating between them. Even the movement of pilgrims, this context goes with a proposal, but related to pilgrims traveling between India and Pakistan. Even the movement of pilgrims, what does it mean, a pilgrim? A person who visits, usually old people, religious, those who believe in faith, a religion, they visit sacred places on and off, and that person or those people are called pilgrims. A person who journeys to a sacred place for religious reasons. Even the movement of pilgrims may have been cancelled, but for the conscious attempt by the two governments to make an exception for faith based travel. Some they have cancelled, but there is an exception, as was done for Kartarpur corridor that came up in 2019. The same year, the two countries nearly went to war over the Pulwama attack. So, this sentence is a lengthy sentence. It talks about even the movement of pilgrims may have been cancelled, but for the conscious attempt, deliberate attempt by the two governments to make an exception. They cancelled many uh, trips or allowing pilgrims to enter from this side to that side or that side to this side, but deliberately they have made a particular exception. What is that exception? For faith based travel. And the example, as was done for the Kartarpur corridor that came up in 2019. The same year, 2019, the same year, the two countries nearly went to war over the Pulwama attack. Religious exchanges of mainly Muslim pilgrims from Pakistan and Hindus and Sikhs from India are governed by a protocol signed in 1974 and allowed to continue. Usually, the movement between two countries, whenever there's a problem, usually it happens based on a particular agreement or protocol or a particular treaty. So, this sentence talks about what are the terms and conditions for pilgrims or anyone for that matter to travel from one country to the other country. It is based on a particular protocol that was signed in 1974. Religious exchanges of mainly Muslim pilgrims from Pakistan to India and Hindus and Sikhs from India to Pakistan are governed by, controlled by a protocol. And this protocol is nothing but the official procedure of terms and conditions in this context, signed in 1974 and allowed to continue. While the roots, then it talks about when it comes to visiting holy places, what problems the pilgrims face, and it talks about the routes, easy ones and difficult ones. While the routes for Sikh pilgrims from Indian Punjab to the Pakistani Punjab province are relatively easy. Sikhs going from India to Pakistan, the editorial says, rather easy. Hundreds of Indian and Pakistani pilgrims crossing over at the Wagah and Atari border to travel further to the Hinglaj Mata Mandir in Baluchistan, the Paranhans Mandir in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, the Ajmer Sharif Dargah in Rajasthan, and the Nizamuddin Aulia in Delhi, and other such shrines face more circuitous routes. This sentence, though a lengthy sentence, it talks about when it comes to Sikh pilgrims going from India to Pakistan, it is easy. The routes are relatively easy. But when it comes to visiting other places in different provinces, Balochistan, and also here in Rajasthan, Delhi, and other such shrines, they face more circuitous routes, means not straight. Circuitous, it goes with a particular route or journey longer than the most direct way, not the usual one, longer than the direct way. To avoid the extra time in travel, because they are not the direct, they take more time. And what should be the solution? Now it comes to the actual point, the editorial. To avoid the extra time in travel, the Pakistan Hindu Council, which has now signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with Pakistan International Airlines, PIA, to facilitate faith-based tour groups, has asked that PIA charters from Karachi and Lahore be allowed to fly direct to Indian cities this week, with a view to also allowing reciprocal air charters from India. This is the main idea of the editorial. This editorial has been written based on this idea. A proposal. What is that proposal? Now it talks about the main thing. Because those routes are circuitous, they take more time. To avoid the extra time in travel, a particular organization, the Pakistan Hindu Council, which has now signed an MOU with Pakistan International Airlines to facilitate faith-based tour groups, has asked that PIA charters, chartered flight, means what? The hiring of an aircraft, ship, or motor vehicle for a special purpose. Here, faith trip, faith tour, faith based tour. From Karachi and Lahore be allowed to fly direct to Indian cities this week, with a view to also allowing reciprocal air charters from India. So it talks about allowing pilgrims from Pakistan to India and also India to Pakistan, not following the regular routes but taking a chartered flight. When it comes to chartered flights, this particular council, the Pakistan Hindu Council, it has signed an MOU with Pakistan International Airlines. And obviously, that is a proposal asking Indian government to allow. And at the same time, it should be reciprocal. Reciprocal means what? Given, felt, or done in return. Indian government allows Pakistani pilgrims the same way Pakistan government should allow Indian pilgrims. It should be reciprocal. This would be the first time such air travel has taken place in years, and the first time ever that pilgrimages would be accorded this facility. It is something new. This would be, if at all the government allows, this would be the first time such air travel has taken place in years, and the first time ever, remember the phrase, the first time ever that pilgrimages, when a person, pilgrim a person, but the trip is called pilgrimage, would be accorded this facility. At the fag end of the editorial, we have about 5 or 6 words. As pilgrim groups on both sides are vetted, this is an important word. Vetted, vet is a verb. Make a careful and critical examination of something. As pilgrim groups on both sides are vetted before being allowed to travel, the precedent is unlikely to pose any additional security threat. Imagine the government agrees, allows, and all these pilgrims from this side or that side, they are examined thoroughly. They are vetted before being allowed to travel. So that will not pose any threat. Unlikely to pose, chances are very less to pose any additional security threat. In an atmosphere, now he talks about the present atmosphere. In an atmosphere fraught with, this is an important word, important combination, fraught of a situation or course of action filled with, fraught with tensions, such people to people initiatives can only help build some modicum of goodwill. Again, an important word, modicum, means what? A small quantity of a particular quality or thing, especially something that is valuable or desirable. Again, it talks about people to people initiatives can only help build some modicum of goodwill. The main idea of the editorial. No evident harm to national interest has come from other such recent moves embarked on by the two governments. No evident harm to national interest has come from other such recent moves embarked on by the two governments. The two governments have recently embarked on such movements, and there was no threat as such. No evident harm was done, such as the LOC ceasefire announcement in February, or the decision to reopen the Kartarpur corridor in November, or the government's nod for cricket under T20 World Cup, as well as other sporting events. This sentence talks about some initiatives taken, and because of those initiatives, there was no harm, no evident harm to national interest has come from those initiatives. So, in a way, it says there's nothing wrong. India has to consider how does it end? While the government's reflex position, there's one word. Usually we use a word reflexive. Something falls, immediately I'll do like this. That is a reflexive action without thinking, spontaneous. While the government's reflex position may be to deny the request, deny means to say no. It may prove wiser, that is the opinion of the editorial. It may prove wiser to give the proposal some deliberate consideration. So, how does the editorial end? It says the immediate reaction could be saying no, denying, but it may be wiser, it may prove wiser to give the proposal, this people to people initiative, the proposal by them, some deliberate consideration. It says they have to consider. It's all about that's all about this editorial. Let us have a quick look at the questions based on this editorial. What is this editorial about? You should write. What can help build goodwill between India and Pakistan? Definitely, you have to. You can answer. What seems a leap in the context of the editorial? There's only one word, clue word, leap. You have to navigate, locate, and based on that, you have to write the answer. What has ensured that the borders have been virtually sealed for 2 years? Again, easy to answer, mentioned clearly in the editorial. What is unlikely to pose any additional security threat? Always remember when you have to answer questions based on explicit information, you can easily answer. All that you have to do, navigate, locate, then you get the answer. But it is not easy to answer questions based on implicit information. Same thing goes with exam. In the actual exam passage, you have questions based on explicit information, you have questions based on implicit information, and you got to be careful with when it comes to questions based on implicit information. That's all about the editorial, a nice editorial, something positive, goodwill. Definitely, everyone has to look for that between the two countries. In the long run, it helps the common man, ordinary people, and everyone for that matter. Now, let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. The first five questions go with error location. Please read the first one. India's travel and tourism industry is poised on growth at 7% this year alone. Poised to growth alone? No, Sai Arvind, look at it very carefully. I feel better today. My bad throat, sore throat because of the season, especially winter. This winter has been very bad for me in the sense quite often I got affected, especially sore throat. Here, obviously, it is not India's travel and tourism. Try to analyze based on subject, verb, object, phrases, and clauses. Nothing wrong. India's travel and tourism industry, this is a subject, is poised. Nothing wrong. On growth is not correct. To grow. Poised, it takes, what is the verb over here? Poised means positioned. Poised to grow. We have to use to grow. Poised to grow. At 7% this year alone. No, this year, though you see the expression, the time phrase this year, you don't have to use present perfect. It talks about a fact. Because it talks about a fact, we have to use present tense and nothing wrong with the verb. This question is all about preposition, one thing, and also infinitive, the verb infinitive form, basic form. Poised to grow. That's a standard expression. Poised to grow means position to grow. You may ask, so how do we know this? If you read the newspapers, obviously, they must have taken these questions are from previous year's papers. And obviously, they must have taken from the newspaper. India's travel and tourism industry is poised to grow at 7% this year alone. From the context itself, you can make out it is related to India. It is from one of the sources within the country, either a magazine or a newspaper. And these are all familiar sentences. Those who read the Hindu paper for about 6 months or 9 months, for those students, these are all very easy. One reading, they will be able to spot the error. We had made every effort to ensure that a compromise is reached and that deal was signed. Okay, sir, got it, sir. That is good. I appreciate your response. Here, contextual awareness. Let's see how you guys are going to. I always talk about contextual awareness. When you read a sentence, you have to know whether it talks about the past, present, or future, and what exactly does it talk about a fact, or does it talk about two actions or three actions? What does it talk about? Here, we had made every effort, it is in past perfect, to ensure that a compromise is reached, present, that deal was signed, past. Here, there are two verbs in past and one in present. Can we use present verb in this? Definitely. Answer no. When you have two or three verbs in past, another verb should definitely be, of course, context is very important, should be in the past. You cannot use the verb in present over here. It should be. We had made every effort to ensure that. Why here past perfect? This is the first action. That the deal was signed. This is a second action. First action we have to use past perfect. Second action we have to use past tense. So we had made every effort to ensure that a compromise was reached and that the deal was signed. Here, was reached, was signed, both go into past. And the first one, it goes into past perfect. There is an error in the third part. An easy one based on your grammar knowledge, based on contextual awareness. Question number 3. His main qualification on the job is his extensive experience in foreign branches. This is also an easy one. One reading, you should be able to spot the error, not an uphill task. His main qualification on the job is his extensive experience in foreign branches. Good morning. Rather late, but no problem. Question number 3, what is the answer? His main qualification on the job or further job, what do you say? Main qualification, further job. Write the correct expression. That helps you guys in the long run. So what is this question about? One thing, it is about the preposition and also a prepositional phrase, further job. It's a phrase. His main qualification, further job, is what? His extensive experience in foreign branches. Easy to answer. Question number 4. I answered the questions as best as I could. This is also an easy one, but this is a common error. A lot of people say that I answered the questions as best as I could. Quite often, bank exams, SSC also, especially bank exams, they ask questions based on word forms. They use a wrong form, or they use an adjective in place of an adverb. They use a noun in place of a verb, or they use a verb in place of a noun. So, rather means to some extent, a little, moderate, to some extent easy. That's what I mean when I say rather easy. I answered the questions. Here, what is the verb answered? You ask a question, how? I answered the questions. How did I answer the questions? Well, you need an adverb, but here, an adverb also it should be in the positive form, not comparative, not superlative. Here we have to say as well. As good is the common error. Oh, not expected from you. As good as. No, no, that's the reason why I have given the analysis. First, you look at the verb. All of you listen very carefully. I answered. What is the verb over here? Answered. Ask the question, how did I answer the questions? Well, you need an adverb. Good is an adjective. Good adjective. You cannot use an adjective here. Well, adverb. How did I answer? Well, we need an adverb, obviously. Oh, thank you very much, Avinash. Answer is well, not good. In so many exams they've given, I will give one more example. She has done the work as good as she could. Is the sentence right or wrong? She has done the work as good as she could. It is wrong. Here we cannot use good. She has done the work. Ask the question, how has she done the work? Well, so as well as she could. Then it is correct. I don't understand how she could treat him so bad. Okay, got it. So I don't understand how she could treat him so bad. I don't understand, nothing wrong here. It's a clause. I don't understand what. How she could, another clause, how she could treat him so bad or badly. Here again, bad is adjective. Bad person, bad idea. We cannot use an adjective over here. We have to use adverb. What is the adverb form of that? Badly. Even this question is based on word forms. Badly. Why badly? We need to use an adverb, not an adjective. These are actual questions from previous year's papers. If someone says, Sir, I got all the five correct, you should be very happy. But you should get at least 4 out of 5. That's good enough. Not tough questions. We have blanks. Only one. Choose the appropriate word. Vikram lost its Earth link when it was 2.1 kilometers and 3 minutes from what would have been a first ever touchdown close to the lunar South Pole. This is based on exposure to the language. When you read the newspapers regularly, you will be able to. Bhavana says she got 4. And Soumya Ranjan also, Ganesh also, very good. 3 is also good. They're not very tough. And Srinivas as well. Oh, a lot of students. That's very good. Sheikh, Kali, and Ashwin Avinash. Bankers Zone. Oh. So, what is the right or appropriate word? What would have been, it did not happen, past conditional. What would have been a historic, hold that one. Celebrated, no. And memorable, you can consider. Famed, no. All of the above. Oh, let us see. Celebrated, first ever touchdown, no. Memorable would have been correct. Famed, first ever touchdown. We cannot use, it should be. The very first option. What is the first option over here? Historic, first ever touchdown. And if you read the newspapers regularly and also you're exposed to the language, one reading you know for sure, historic is the most appropriate word and there won't be any ambiguity whatsoever. The Supreme Court is looking into effective by social media companies like Facebook and Twitter, where the provisions of the Information Technology Act to help detect cyber crimes. Help detect cyber crimes. Again, you have to recollect causative verbs. What is the appropriate word? Even this one is easy, should not be a problem. It goes with the law because Supreme Court. One has to follow the rules and regulations. Thank you very much. Nice of you. Who is this? Chandu. Thank you very much. So this the context goes with Supreme Court, law related, and you have got so many times law, rules and regulations. We use the word comply. Comply takes a preposition with, comply with, and here defiance, no. Looking into effective compliance, we have to use a noun form. Complaint has a different connotation altogether, not correct. Defy means to challenge, not at all acceptable. We need a positive word, not a negative word, and none of these not correct. So, what is the answer over here? It is compliance. Comply means what? Follow. What is that expression, Prasads? What does it mean? Now, let us go to question number 3. Twitter and WhatsApp had strongly to Aadhaar linkage, saying it would affect the privacy of its users. Yes, you have to write. It's always better if you write the correct expression. You will get benefited in the long run. Mark my words. Twitter and WhatsApp had strongly to Aadhaar linkage. Why? Saying it would affect, important word, exam point of view, the privacy of its users. Then you should understand from the context they must have objected. It is not appreciated. It is not, we need a negative word. Agreed, recommending, strongly objected to Aadhaar linkage. What is the reason? Saying it would affect the privacy of its users. Obviously, we cannot choose a positive word, we have to choose a negative word. The minister was trolled on the internet over an apparent in explaining that achieving the target of nearly doubling the size of the economy to 5 trillion US dollars should not be looked through the prism of maths. So this is a bit difficult, but elimination approach, you should get the correct word. That should not be a problem. A lengthy sentence, only one word you have to choose. Situation, error, and both B and C. Oh, you have a new option over here. Please look at the options very carefully. Only then you will be able to answer. You can consider the word error, but what about the third option? Yes, it will take some time. You have to read twice, thrice, only then you will be able to understand. Answer is obviously both the B and C. No, 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 no. Not situation. Apparent means obvious, something that goes without saying, something very clear. Apparent situation does not go with the context. Apparent error while explaining something. And gaffe also means error. You can consider both the words, and based on that, obviously, B and C. Answer is B and C. Error, it means these two are synonyms. This means error. Both are synonyms. When you come across synonyms and there's a choice like B and C, obviously that is the answer. The AAP decided to stage agitations across the country against the government's policies that have allegedly led to economic slowdown. Error, it means error. I have already given. It means what? Error or inappropriate remark. Error or inappropriate remark, something that does not go with the context. And what is the right word? Question number 5. The AAP decided to stage. Wait, here there is a noun. And I always tell when it comes to fillers, when it comes to cloze test, word combinations, knowledge related to word combinations, very important. Collocations. Weight agitations does not make any sense whatsoever. And fabulous, it's a negative context. Fabulous means wonderful. You cannot use a positive word. Massive seems right. Generous, a positive word you cannot consider. So, what is massive agitations? Answer is the third option. That is right. Perfect. I don't know how many of you have got all the five correct. They are rather easy, not that difficult. Now let us go to five questions based on phrase replacement. Bank exams, sentence improvement when it comes to SSC. These are also very important. And three things play a role. One is grammar knowledge, second is vocabulary, third is the most important, contextual awareness. Three is good, four very good. All the five correct, outstanding. You should be extremely happy. And today is your day. You should take it that way. Let us go to phrase replacement questions. Easy, should not be that difficult. The dire situation means badly in need of something. Dire means badly in need of something. The dire need of amusement to escaping boredom, to escaping at the outset, you can reject this one based on grammar knowledge. To escape boredom seems right. As escaping boredom, not correct. Escapes bored, not at all correct. For escape being bored, the meaning is completely changed. So, what is the answer over here? An easy one, to escape boredom. Yes. We tempted Karen with many promises, but nothing would work her up. This is also easy based on your grammar knowledge. Question number two. Try to use your grammar knowledge, then you will be able to get the correct option within no time. Yes, all of you got it right. Increase what? Kali. Sir, please increase. Increase what? What is this increase, Kali? Here, no one has answered the second one. We tempted Karen with many promises, but nothing would. There is a helping verb here. Already have learned. If at all you have to use a verb after a helping verb, that verb should be in bare infinitive. Bare infinitive means what? Without verb, basic form, without to. So working is not bare infinitive. Works is not bare infinitive. Works not bare infinitive. There is only one option that has bare infinitive. Obviously, that is the answer. Would work on her. Otherwise, also it is correct. Let us go to question number three. Someone wanted something to be increased, and what is that? I'm not able to make out. Increase what? A renowned organization has recent appointed. Easy to answer. A recent appointed. Does it sound right? No. Recently appointed. A recent appointed. Is to appoint. Has is to appoint. There to recently appointed. No. You cannot use to. Oh, you mean to say mains level? At this stage, why mains level? A lot of students now they are preparing for upcoming exams, SBI. When is your mains exam? Recently appointed, obviously. Recently appointed. We have to use the adverb. Recent is an adjective we cannot use, and we have to use adverb recently. Taking good care of yourself is paramount. Paramount means important, very important. It's an important word, paramount. Taking good care of yourself is paramount for succession of your goals. We don't use the word succession over here. This is a little tricky. You got to read almost all. RRB NTPC's exam. Okay, okay. Fine. Tomorrow I'll get tough questions. About being a success, you have to consider the preposition paramount for. About being, not correct. Paramount for to the success. There's a problem here. Paramount, I think this should have been in red. Please consider the preposition for also. Paramount Now you look at it. To the success of your goals, based on that it should be. Why no correction required? We cannot use the word succession. Taking good care of yourself is paramount to the success of your goals, then it is correct. We cannot, don't consider the preposition for. Answer is the second option. Yes, Sai Kumar, you got it right. Priyanka got it right. Here, please listen very carefully. At the outset, we cannot use the word succession. Succession means something that happens at different times, succession. It does not go with this context. Taking good care of yourself is paramount. Then don't consider for, don't consider succession. Paramount to the success of your goals. Important to the success of your goals. Important about being a success, not correct. Important about being successful of your goals, not correct. Important to succeed of your goals, not correct. Only one option can be considered, that is the second option. Yes, of course. The tambourine to gain popularity in the mid 18th century in Western Europe as an orchestral instrument. This is easy to answer because there is a time. Yes, of course. For, no, you cannot. That's why I said don't consider for. I told you not to consider the preposition for. Consider in the sense that is also part of sentence improvement. For succession, not correct. That means you're not considering. 18th century, there is a time, whenever you come across time phrase that goes into the past, you cannot use any other tense. Only one tense has to stand out. Which one is that? Past tense, gain popularity. Answer is the fourth option. Let us go to, this is from yesterday's editorial, a little abstract, but you should be able to get the correct order. Should not be a problem. What is this where PDF? Please try to be a little polite. Where PDF means who are you asking, who are you questioning? It is like questioning someone. Where is a PDF? Where PDF? Three out of five. Okay, fine. Read this paragraph very carefully. 4 is above average. That is good, Kumar. 1C. The preamble to the Constitution declares that India is a republic. Very good. It's all about the preamble. C is the first one. What is the second one? Oh, who is this? Abhilash has got all the 5 correct. That's great. Please, 4 is also very good. 1C, yes, you guys got it right. The preamble, introduction to the Constitution, declares that India is a republic. What is the second one? Declares means it describes. This self description. Answer B is the second one. No, no, not D. No, no, no. Be careful. Don't try to do it so fast. Not that easy. Here, this self description, this, whenever you come across demonstrative pronouns or demonstrative adjectives, you should understand they refer to something that has been already said. It refers to the preamble to the Constitution declares that India is a republic. It is a description, self description. Based on that, I will talk about that later. This self description, B, must be taken seriously. Why? Being a republic is integral to India's political identity. And more information the writer wants to give. Moreover, again, the demonstrative pronoun. This is not just a descriptive. Description, descriptive, continuity of thought, but also a strong ethical normative claim. CBE, who has got CBE? After that, being Republican is an ideal to which we are meant to consistently aspire. And when we go astray, means off the track, we should know what we have to done. We have done something wrong. We should know that we have done something wrong, feel remorse, and make amends. Remorse means feel guilty, feel bad. Who has got this order? CBEDA. That is the correct order. All of those who have got it right, be happy. Others, nothing to worry. Next time, try to read carefully and meticulously. Now we are running out of time. We have 9 minutes. We have to work on two exercises. One is idioms, the other one editorial words. So try to answer quickly. Argus-eyed, that's an important one we have got for the first time, I suppose. So what does it mean? Unacademy special class every day at 6 p.m. That is a free class. You have to download Learners app first. Download Unacademy Learners app. Then you look for the profile Venkata Korlapati and use my referral code Murthy10. Three steps. First, you download the Learners app, then look for my profile name Venkata Korlapati. Then you use my referral code Murthy10. You will be able to attend the session. No, don't worry, please. Never feel that way. Banker zone. All of you remember when it comes to para jumble, not easy. Under pressure, not at all easy. And here, though you're not under pressure, it is not an actual exam. In a way, you are under pressure because it's a live session. I have not given enough time. Students started responding, and there was peer pressure. And sometimes you may not get it right. Never feel bad, but after the session, you think of what went wrong, which one you chose, the second one wrong, third one wrong, then analyze, and next time try to be careful. Yes, a lot of students have answered. Answer is the fourth option, observant, carefully observe. With bated breath, you take the exam, you wait for the result. How do you wait for the result? With bated breath. What does it mean? I'm waiting for the result with bated breath. In dispute, in full detail, in happy mood. Result always anxious. No, 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 no. Answer is the second option, in anxiety, with a lot of anxiety. Exactly, that is right, Ganesh. Perfect. Draconian law. Even this I have brought for the first time. Not easy, but if you read the newspapers, you can answer one shot, one reading. Draconian law, a written law, extremely severe law, oral law, lenient, strict opposite lenient. But here, draconian law means extremely severe law, very strict, unbearable. Then we use extremely severe law, we use draconian law. In cahoots with, this is also a difficult. Today, idioms are not easy. If someone says, sir, today idioms have got all the five correct, great. Today is your day. You should be extremely happy. What does it mean? In cahoots with. This has a negative connotation. Idiom number 4. Today, if you get 3, you should be happy. 4, very happy. All the 5 correct, extremely happy. No one has answered the fourth one. You guys are still with the third one. Please mention the question number. That is very important. Yes, answer is the fourth option. Who is this? Thapa, Siddharth. Yes, you're right. And after that, I see Apsara also. Very good. Some more students. In cahoots with means in an alliance or partnership with, usually to plan something bad. It has a negative connotation. A marriage made in heaven, a group of criminals with a lot of determination, not at all relevant. Answer is a fourth option, but do remember it has a negative connotation. No dice. This is also a new one. I haven't brought, I don't think so. Dice goes with gambling. You use dice to while playing gamble. So one, two, three, two, gamble, dice. And also another form of that you have on one, three, another side, four, that way. What is the answer? Question number five or idiom number five. How come no response? No dice, a great gamble. No, you cannot go with the word. Used to refuse a request or indicate that there is no chance of success. Answer is the second option. Very good. I appreciate those who have got it right. Oh, so many students. That's wonderful. Now, the $1,000,000 question. Who has got all the five correct idioms? All the five idioms correct? Anyone? That is really great. Highly appreciable. I would like to know. Before I wind up the session, the last slide, enrichment point of view, very useful. Apsara says four, that is also good. Who is this? Oh, someone says all the five correct. Srinivas, great Srinivas, that is really. Four is also very good, but all the five correct, wonderful, outstanding. Today is your day. Now let us go to Arvind also, Sai Arvind, great, wonderful, all the five. Now, who is this? Srinivas also. Good, good, very good. I appreciate all the students who have got all the five correct. Outstanding, I would say. Now let us go quickly to editorial vocabulary before I wind up the session. Goodwill, a positive word. Today's editorial on a positive note. It's all about something positive. Friendly attitude. So where is this friendly attitude? D is the answer. Cumbersome usually means heavy, but in this context, it means slow or complicated, and because of that, not efficient. A leap is a verb. Please make a note of the part of speech. Goodwill is noun, cumbersome adjective, and this is a verb. Leap means what? Jump long way. Downsize is a verb, downsizing. Corporate world, they use this regularly, which is not a good thing. Means what? Make something smaller. E is the answer. Pilgrim, pilgrimage, noun. Pilgrim also noun. A person who visits holy places. Where is this? Person who visits holy places. Protocol, official procedure. We have got many a time. There's also a noun, C. And shrine is a noun. A place regarded holy. A is the answer. A reciprocal response, reciprocal attitude. That means it is an adjective. And what does it mean? Done in return, something that is done in return. Vetted, vet is a verb. Vet can also be a noun, a different meaning altogether. But careful examination. Modicum, slight improvement. So it could be adjective, something valuable. And what are you left with? Small quantity. Oh, it could be noun as well. I think better we consider quantity, noun. So answer is I. My schedule for today, 8 a.m., the Hindu editorial analysis on my channel, Murthy's YouTube channel. We have just done 10 a.m., 11:45 a.m. for plus students of an academy, CHSL, CGL foundation batch at 10 and practice batch at 11:45. 6 p.m. special free class, important fixed prepositions. Very important. Unacademy platform, do remember you have to use my referral code Murthy10. 7:30 p.m. SSC, CHSL, and CGL. Today it could be at 4 also. I'm not quite sure. Check the time. Unacademy SSC YouTube channel. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me till 9. Have a nice day. I will see you guys tomorrow. And do remember to subscribe and share and join the Telegram group. After the session, I'll provide the PDF. Try to work